went down to the corner saloon. Didn't go to be gone long. She peeped through the keyhole of the door, spied Albert in Alice's arms. He's my man, and he done me wrong. Frankie called Albert. Albert says, I don't hear. If you don't come to the woman you love, gonna haul you out of here. You's my man, and you done me wrong. Frankie shot Albert, and she shot him 3 or 4 times. Says, stroll back out to smoke him a gun, let me see his Albert dine. He's my man, and he done me wrong. Frank and the judge walked out on the stand, they walked outside the side. The judge says to Frankie, you're gonna be justified for killing a man, and he done you wrong. Dark was the night, cold was on the ground. The last word I heard Frankie said, done laid old Albert down. He's my man, and he done me wrong. I ain't gonna tell no story, and I ain't gonna tell no lie. Well, I was past about an hour ago, the girl you call Alice Pride. He's your man, and he done you wrong.
Hi, I'm Remy. I'm a game developer. I have a formation in programming and 3D modeling and game development. I'm currently working on a crowdfunding platform named Driven, and I'm doing the live stream to gather my community around and eventually use Driven as it is in a prototyping phase currently. So the live streams are used for are currently a set of team-based episodes. I'm going over each position in at least the minimum or some kind of necessary position in game development. Not all of them are necessary, but to my liking, it's I think it's a must. You can have a studio and don't have like a QA tester, which is the theme for today. You could not have a QA and get have a game and that is successful anyway. You can do the QA yourself. Quality assurance. So I'm looking for participants for creating a game. In exchange for your involvement, I'm going to give you live lessons for any of the position, at least programming and art, because I have experiences. I've been a technical artist for 3 years, and I'm looking for beginners and amateurs. And you can get in even if you are advanced in any of the position. So today it's the QA testers, but first I'm going to do my usual segment where I'm looking for a comment on the internet to answer as some kind of promotion for my platform. So I had prepared my link. I almost forgot again to have to show you my monitor. So I will open browser is on the other screen, and then I will paste in my usual link, which was very useful in the other live stream. So I'm going to log in. What happened to my what happened? This is not my avatar. Wait a minute. Something went wrong. Let's see. Oh, it just didn't register my display name. Maybe it just go. Yeah, it says there are issues. I changed my avatar and display name, but it seems to be they have an issue. So I will have to I will have to go with it anyway. Go back to this, close this. Okay, my son wants, I want the new one. How do you design to encourage the soul over competitive play? How do you design? I could answer, but I'm not strongly, don't have a background in game design. RNG elements will do it. Having strong enough RNG elements, I think I will skip it. I will try to find one that is right away in my type of my experience range. To solve the progression dilemma, unlocking context in single player campaign. I don't. It take me more time to answer this than programming or art. Do you focus on when designing a game? What? Hey, I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice today. When I'm tired, I'm losing my voice. I just want to check the chat, not to forget to have please a view on the chat. You can chat in YouTube and I will answer. So, allowing your game to be imperfect, of course. I have 8 months to generate cash flow. Thank you. Hey guys, where do I even start? I like this. There is a video game that I've been conceptualizing for the past years here, and I'm super passionate about making it a reality and continuing to build on it. I have the entire story ideas on exactly what kind of game this is, all the way down to even thinking about Easter eggs and achievements. The problem is, I don't know squat about coding or 3D modeling, or like how to make a 3D model that can be then be coded to move. I love video games, and as a kid, I've thought of making them, but I had other passions that interest me more until now. So I never got into learning how it actually worked. I'm so very out of my depth. Any advice for a noob you can mention for tools or any classes y'all look that may be helpful? Y'all took that may be helpful. The sidebar. Mm-hmm. I think it's. I don't know why he says the sidebar. Sidebar. Maybe something in there. What? Not sure. Mm. I heard good words for Unity to learn. set tutorial for myself. I start to learn by read the script and code by doing it anytime. I was blocked. Using specific task or issue. Of course, a little bit of promotion because that's why I'm asking people that way. I'm currently doing a live stream and looking for people like you to make a game while I teach online. Oh, I forgot, if you want to support me, I've put the links in the description below. You can become a Patreon. I put the Patreon link right away. Now, I used to tell people to go in my website, but I just realized that I just need to put the link of Patreon. So it's Patreon is the second link. It's about like $14 Canadian dollar a month. It's $10 American US dollar a month. And if you are a Patreon, I will take the time to answer your issues one-on-one on Discord instead of in the live stream. But I would like to leave the live stream for people that are not Patreon. Ideally, everyone wanting to work on the game, especially at the beginning, that would be nice if everyone would be a Patreon, but not obligated. Okay, so there is also the third link in the description, which is the tip. It's a platform for a streamer, for tipping streamer, if you want to give a little help, but don't have enough to pay the Patreon. The help is just to help me grow my channel, which is needed right now. To make a game while, sorry for my alarm. Make game while I teach online game development. Game development. I think you don't write this in English. You can find me at driven by me. This this on YouTube. My live stream. Dyslexic much. Okay, let's go. one for today is enough. Okay. Next, I had a new idea for searching about a position when you want to become work in the game industry. I gave two ideas in the previous episode. One was to search for the college universities and go looking for the courses content given in the university when like you want to become a, let's say, sound designer or FX artist. You go to the schools, the top school. You can ask an AI like Perplexity, which give the sources, which I think ChatGPT can give the source if you pay OpenAI a subscription and you go for a specific chatbot. But Perplexity does it better for free. Not better, maybe, but it does it for free. If you want to have a pro, you have to search for a per day. But you can pay the pro services $20 a month, which is a bit like OpenAI. I think it's close to OpenAI rate, but since it's free, I prefer it. So you search for the best school that gives let's say sound design in video game, and then it gives you the school. You open the sources. If the source is wrong because there's some kind of discrepancy between what the AI say and the link the sources gives, and if that's the case, then you just copy the name of the school, you search it on Google, and from there you try to find the courses information and what the content of the courses. Sometimes you need to give your information to the school, so they send you the PDF. It's not always, almost never available right away on the website, or you can search like course content or PDF, all PDF given from this website. You can use Google Code system like site and then the like www the college something, then this .com the college that you seek, let's say .com, and then PDF like a star means all .pdf, and it maybe will give you the PDF on the school, the courses you're looking for, or you can try this PDF. Let's say I will try my school, see what comes out. It was paidc.ca. Won't give anything. Wrong. BDC. Sometimes it doesn't work. You need to add the HTTPS // there is two dots there. Okay, it doesn't want to. What if I write it I think I didn't. The website is crashed. Maybe there it's another name. Let's say college like Dawson, which is a college in Montreal. And you copy this link. I know they don't say much about the courses because I wanted to be in one of their courses and could find the content of. But that seems to be something like that. Graphic design in French. Usually Dawson is English. But you see, I can have the information. I don't know if they will give the nitty gritty. Yeah, this is like the basis you need to learn in college in Canada, Quebec. Education physics, physical. It's like activity, sport. I don't really remember the name of that. It was the like the default programming, the program that is not in the curriculum of graphism. It's every program in college you need to learn that. So maybe go down and it is. They say a lot about the general courses. Oh yeah. Now this is what I'm looking for specific formation, which is not the general formation. You have the all the courses and their name. Then you can look at what is taught and what you would need to know to become to have this kind of job. Usually, you can manage to learn without going to school. It's collegial school. It's of course a diploma. Sometimes gives you it is helpful to have, but you can manage to have a portfolio that tells more than a diploma. Because I've seen people getting out of school with a diploma, a lot of people, and they don't have the experience of someone who was drawing since little child. There's a difference, as Feng Zhu said. Feng Zhu. It's a YouTuber. I remember he has a school of concept art in an Asian country. I don't remember which one. Very popular. And in one of his free video, talks about the difference between a student that has drawn since little and a student that is newly coming to become a concept artist, and is what he sees usually, and issues that is occurring. And he says that someone who never draw a lot and is just starting and is like 20 years old, they will have not a rich visual library in their head because they didn't practice the brain muscle that is necessary for that. And the one who did it since very little, he would draw things that it's hard to explain to someone. They will draw. They will have more information. I like the example he gave of a castle. When you are not very experienced, and you will draw a castle with the niche on the top, and you will have 2 towers with an entrance with the Pont-Levis bridge. That is, you will draw very, very like the very generic visual of a castle. But when you did castle since you are very little, and you will have like a bridge that goes from towers to towers, and you won't even have the generic things that you see in a castle you usually see. I used to want to become a concept artist, and I watched all of them, most of them, of his video. He gives a lot of good advice for concept artists. It's sad for the AI. I hope it will not go further, because this is a very nice job to have, concept artist. It's very a good job. You don't need a lot of concept artists. That's why it's hard to get in as a concept artist. So that's the visual library. It's not. I don't feel it's similar in programming. Of course, there is an advantage when you are experienced, but at some point, programming is different. It's like the top, the very experienced guy would tell you the same thing. He will be at the same level as you at some kind, not very exactly the same level, but he will do the same thing as you at some point. When he doesn't know about the subject, because eventually you know a lot about the language, a system, and you go way faster than a beginner. But when he is stuck, he will do the same thing almost, if you learn well what you need to do, like debugging, putting logs, and you will searching the web and all of that. Of course, they will debug faster, but they will do the same process, and it's not the same as someone who has a rich visual library in his head and can draw things that are incomprehensible to someone who just are starting to draw. So let's continue. The new tricks. The other trick I told, I think it was in the previous episode, it is to or you have a blank. What was it? I just need to check. That way I won't complicate things. Alright, let's content. What's that? Oh, 2 subscriber. What was my pick? Don't remember. Insert. I forgot to show play with it because you play with it at screen. Did the copyright technical artists seems to, and I had a really great idea that I should have gone with the other jobs position. In the other episode, I used to tell the level designer, I give the advice to look at the schools, what the schools in level design were teaching, and then I think I got a better idea that I should have presented at that moment, and I just want to go back to the list of position. So I had sound designers, character artists. Okay, I will go back to, oh, maybe that's too long because there are many of them. I will do them maybe another stream, but let's go with the technical artist as a theme of the deed. And this way of searching now, it's a way, it's maybe better than going to, not better, but it covers another surface of knowledge that you should seek when you want to become, let's say, a sound designer, level designer, game designer, marketing specialist, like I said, when you want one of those positions in game development, any position, you can search for the school like I showed you, but you can also search another way. But first, before showing you the other way, I want to see what people say about technical artists. Okay, I remember. It's searching for the job descriptions, like in LinkedIn or Indeed, or at Google. And the job description, you will see the tools they ask you to have as a technique, as skills. But now I have another way. I was trying to find tags for my YouTube video, and I saw a lot of tags that I didn't know what was about. So let's try I will try both ways, like say asking for I'm making a live video about the game, the QA quality Assyrian tester position in video game can give me the most search terms to add as a tag in my YouTube video. The tags are in the format tag. Then I will take my pro token. Give me the most search terms, but as a tag in my, and then I will see. I will add them right away to my current live stream. And then you might see things like Appium, Valgrind, Bugspot. So that's interesting. I don't know those terms. I know game QA tester. I was not afraid to ask QA tester for help when I needed. I really like having QAs. I really like to work with QAs. I think it's should not be seen as bad as it is. I think they are not paid as much as the other position. Usually people doing beta testing are QA. They learn how to do proper QA tests. People who are not, they don't feel like they could do art, or they could like doing art, I would say, rather than do, because everyone can do art. People who don't think they would like to do programming, but they like to testing, they like to play game. And I don't think it's a bad thing to not be able to be a programmer, or not be able, because everyone can be. But I would say like it's necessary to have QAs, because it's a job in itself. There is things you need to know and do that some people might find boring, or some people might find useless because they think they can do it. But no, I think there are some repetitive things that often the programmer think the job is done, but it's not done. So I will just try to fit in the keywords I'm adding to my live stream, which I think I won't cover. There are many. I don't think I will cover those. I would check maybe most of them, but I was focused just to keep the good one, the generic one. Software testing. Sorry for that interval. I don't know if the tags are getting. So it seems that it helps, but it helps a bit. I don't know. Over time, maybe it helps even more. Because as I added, I had 0 view yesterday, and I added them on the 3 video, and it seems to have helped a bit because I have the views now. So don't forget to add your tags if you are doing promotions on YouTube. Okay, so let's see what is this. Maybe I will try another way, which is a new thread, which is separated. That way the AI doesn't know the other thread, which I will ask if I want to become a quality assurance tester. What should I train online to be hired? Let's see if it's similar to what we saw as keywords. To become a quality assurance tester and increase your chance of being hired, you should focus on developing a combination of technical skills, soft skills. Soft skill is skills with communication. If you don't know, when you work in a team, how you communicate and how you try to be accommodating, try to be to make the communication easier, and this is specific knowledge. Here's a comprehensive guide on what you should train or learn. Technical skills, programming knowledge. Okay, you should learn. I'm not sure they learned that. I'm not sure. Maybe those who do saw it on the previous question. Those who make unit testing. When you do unit testing, of course, you have to know languages, but they are so the QA I know. I had my job didn't do any of the programming. They were testing the engine. They were on the simulator all day long. I would need to take a break. I'm coming back in a few minutes. So see you in a few minutes. I'm back. So, test automation tool, Selenium and Appium. We saw this, one of them, it's in Appium. API testing tools such as Postman. I heard this one. Postman, I think I downloaded it. SoapUI, bug tracking and project management tool, Jira. This one I know, I use it a lot. I use it on my own project. I think I will teach you how to use it if people, we have a team. It's very useful. Software Development Lifecycle, SDLC. Understand the various stages of software development and how QA fits into each phase. Test planning and execution. Learn how to create test plans and test case, execute manual and automated tests, perform different type of testing, black box, white box, gray box. So this is very, very useful for QA. If you want to become a QA, play game as a job. It's very useful job. More useful than it's thought. Of course, there is the test. You need to test everything, and it's good if you know programming a bit, because you know you will know the usual way that the programmer make mistakes, and you can right away test the first generic mistake that the programmer do. The thing they forget to test, and that's what I would say. So what time I want to know now? This, I would like to know more about this. And what else? So you have all the things there, all the software, and you can ask what it is, but to be more precise, I want to search this. What can it be said? Let's watch this together. I don't like video hand drawn. It's become too generic.
In order to understand what a software tester...
Well, it's not bad. At least the voice is not a robot.
How do you decide what your next step on a project is? Let's hope you're not relying on a roll of the dice, especially when the decision concerns something as costly as software development. In that case, we suggest a tried and true method like the Software Development Lifecycle, or SDLC. It's a standardized process that describes different stages of building high-quality software. SDLC was conceived in the 1970s as a way of formulating the development of large-scale business systems, but it prevails today as a reminder of what stages a product goes through on the way to eventual, we hope, success. There are many methodologies addressing this sequence of stages that you might have heard of. So, today, we will talk about the phases of SDLC and the methodologies applying them. The father of the software development lifecycle was a computer scientist and a director at Lockheed Software Technology Center in Austin, Winston W. Royce.
I think they will talk about the cascade lifecycle and the iterative. It's two kind of way of doing production. The iterative production is you do a version like in minimal viable product, and you iterate over and over. You make it better and better. Cascade is like in a movie. You do one shot. You don't iterate. When you do a movie, you do. There are no moment that you will iterate like in the video game industry. Movie industry, you will do you will hire the actor, and then you will do the shots, and when the shots are all done, you will start to make the montage, and then after that the special effect and so on, and then you won't go back to hiring actor and doing the shot. Everything is done in a cascade, like a water cascade. In video game, it's not like that. You have, of course, cascade like situation, like at the beginning, that won't be repeated. Like you do a prototype, the level designer create the GDD, and they start blocking the game and doing the mechanics, while the artist is creating the base mesh for the character, and the animator are waiting for they have a base mesh they can animate, which is like a blob, and then they can start animating the blob, and then at some point they can give the artists are making a more realistic character that they can replace the blob with, and other artists are making the props that the level designer have placeholders. They had made their own blocking, and then the artists are replacing the blockings that the level designer have created one by one. And then you have a first version that you can make a vertical slice. Sometimes they do a vertical slice, which is they make it look very good, and then they make a trailer, and sometimes this trailer looks better than the end version of the game, and people that are not in the game industry, they wonder why the vertical slice looked so better than the end game. The last version is very optimized. It's for the gamers, that every gamer, because when you produce a game, you enter many things, and at some point the game becomes too chunky, so you need to optimize it. You optimize when there is a problem of optimization, not when you don't need to. In production, you don't do it. You do it in development when you develop. So the life cycle is that the first one there. I don't know if the alpha has the vertical slice, but the alpha is the first after the prototyping phase. You have the alpha phase, which is full of I don't remember exactly. I would need to go back in have a specific live stream on that. And then you go to the alpha, then you go to the beta version, and then the beta version is more like you playtest with the users. You can start your playtest. You show it to your persona, your referable player, like people that might like your game, or anyone. That way you can cover multiple aspects. Because when you do the playtest, you take notes. You need to know why there is a reason why you do playtests. You want to know what people want in your game, and this is why and one of the reasons why I do my crowdfunding platform driven for this specific interchange between the client and the consumer, where the client wants to make a product, the client wants to make the producer wants to make a product, but he thinks that his idea is better, is sufficient to make a good product. Sometimes it is, like Ford said, and later Apple guy repeated it. The consumer does not know what he wants. Like Ford said, the consumer wants more horses, but we all know now that Ford made one of the first industry of car construction, the Ford car. And he said it well. He said the consumer does not know what he wants. Sometimes it's true. It does. The consumer does not know. You need to show them, and that's why you do playtest. The playtest is like you confront your idea, and you always need to confront your idea with the people to which you want to sell your idea. And I think that's why I do Driven. I create Driven. That would be a larger part of Driven, the interaction between the clients. The clients will become like the producer. They will be the link between the producer and client will be so close, way closer than that anything we see, even closer than any Kickstarter we have, any crowdfunding platform. That way, the product will always be what people want. Even if we don't know what people want, it would be presented on Driven and then perfected by the community, the consumer, and the producer themselves, because there will be many producers that will be also consumer, like a community. So that's what I say.
His influential article, Managing the Development of Large Software Systems, he described implementation steps that are similar to what we use today. There are generally 6 stages of software development covered in SDLC. Planning and analysis. It's sometimes also called requirement analysis, or has analysis as a separate stage before or after planning. All in all, at this prolonged stage, the product team collects business and user requirements about what the final product must do and how it should work. Cost and time estimation, scoping, and other planning activities all go here. This is such an extensive phase that we have several videos covering software planning, so make sure to check them out after this one. Second,
I will follow them. It seems to be interesting. I'm not on my channel. Why did I duplicate it?
Is designing. After the planning stage, you prepare the product's architecture and design. Here, a software architect analyzes the requirements and sets the high-level structure of the future systems, describing what components go where and how they How do you decide what your next step on a project is? Let's hope you're not relying on a roll of the dice.
This is usually, I think, analyst. I don't know if they have the same word in English. Analyst. Esa persona studiata dentro bene. I think it's program analyst. Usually, this is more like no, that's not what I'm looking. I think it's more like programming analyst, programmer analyst. I don't know. Don't know enough, but I heard that term.
Interact with one another. They will also select a technology for development. User experience and visual design can also be drafted at this stage. Clearly, without
this is usually a big studio because you will do this for yourself.
At this stage, the following one can't happen. The next phase, development, is a stage where programmers use the architect's design to write code that will finally turn the...
We say analysts does the design and then I heard this term, analyst, but I don't know why. Maybe it's the French
vision into a real thing. This is where some aspects of the final product will be first revealed to stakeholders. Then, testing or quality assurance takes place. Testers and QA professionals review the product's code and usability for bugs and errors so they can be fixed before the next stage. Deployment is when the product is released to the users. Sometimes this stage is combined with the following one.
This is this version. There is also other version of the... Maybe I think Agile is similar in that. Agile is another, because I didn't learn this version of life cycle.
Innovate or die. Tech companies or even companies in other industries.
We'll just finish this one.
Maintenance, where feedback is constantly gathered and the product receives continuous updates and support. This includes both fixes and new features. Sometimes there's a prototyping stage between planning and designing. A prototype is a simplified version of the product used to validate the idea before any major work begins. It doesn't even have to be coded. The design can be used to receive feedback from stakeholders and users. A prototype is the best way to verify requirements with minimal effort and costs. So, the number of phases and their titles can differ depending on the specifics of the projects or a particular methodology. But a common understanding remains the same. You start with a plan, then you design and develop. After that, you test and then release a product.
Yeah, that's really similar to what I said. You have the prototype there, then you have the alpha there. This is the GTD part and the level designer. You test and release, but the iterative version is that you iterate as between those two. You make version 0.10, then version 0.01, 0.02. Then you iterate, and eventually you have the requirement you set in the design document are reached, and then you can release.
What are they?
Yeah,
Waterfall was the first software development approach described in Royce's article back in the 1970s, and it adheres strictly to the SDLC stages. The main idea is that each stage starts only after the previous one is finished. The timeline, due dates,
this should be taught by to anyone, any position in the game development. It's not very QA.
Hey YouTube.
As such, I would try to find one things to learn that is more for QA testers. Let's see. Okay. Let's search that. I already opened it. Was what the other one I opened? I use Azure, so maybe that would be a good one to check.
So first off, what is a test plan? A test plan serves as a blueprint for the testing practices. So first off, what is a test plan? A test plan serves as a blueprint. It is usually created by the QA of the team. It is a document that details all the different aspects of the plan testing that will set up your team to have proper testing practices. So first off, what is a test plan? A test plan serves as a blueprint. It is usually created by the QA of the team. It is a document that details all the different aspects of the plan testing that will set up your team to have proper test coverage in a successful test cycle. The test plan, by definition, should inform about the scope, approach, resources, and schedule of intended test activities. This means the test plan should include a testing schedule, clear objectives for each part of the schedule, the testing strategy that you wish to implement for your testing practices, any resources that will be needed for the testing practices, and finally, time estimations for how long each part of the test plan should take. When creating a test plan, you want to make sure that it's concise, readable, organized, and accurate. So why is a test plan really needed anyway? Many reasons. As I stated previously, it serves as a blueprint for your team. This will not only be used by the testing team, but also by people not on the testing team such as business, product owners, developers, and customers. Having a test plan tells everybody what they should be doing and when they should be doing it. Also, any test plan that is effective and successful can be reused later as a template for future test plans. That's how you improve your process and become more efficient. Now into the nitty-gritty, how to create a test plan. There'll be 8 steps. First, learn about the application. Before you can test anything, you should learn about what the current application does and what new features will be added. Identify who the target audience is for the new feature in application. Find the end user or customer and see what information they can share with you about it. If you are unclear about anything, now's the time to ask, and make sure to take notes from your analysis. Step 2, create a testing strategy. Your testing strategy is very important. It will be used as a high-level instruction for the testing scope, which is what will be included in the testing, and what the costs and efforts will be to effectively test. Creating your testing strategy has multiple layers. First, you want to clearly define the scope. Detail first the hardware, software, and middleware that will be tested in the scope. Then define what will not be tested, the items out of the scope. By defining these items, everyone from the stakeholders and customers to the testers can clearly know what will be included in the testing efforts. When defining the scope, you should take into account the customer information, the customer requirements, the application being tested, and the actual personnel that's on your team. Next, you want to identify the type of testing that will be required to give you the best test coverage. Do you need functional testing or non-functional testing? Or maybe both? Do you need performance testing? What type of functional testing do you need? System test, integration?
Maybe, let's say, in video game.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. In this video, you are going to look at what is quality assurance, or as known as QA. We're going to take a closer look at what is game QA for video games, because QA is also commonly used in the software development stage. Furthermore, you're going to learn different types of testing that's done in the QA stage for games. After you watch this video, if you like this content, be sure to subscribe and follow our channel and turn on the notification bell on top. This is how real life works. This is a channel where we talk about all the things that the school doesn't teach you.
Explain to the folks what actually is QA.
When people talk about QA, most often they think about like grandma's boy or, playing a game and finding bugs. And that is kind of like a backbone of QA, where ultimately it comes towards the end of development after everyone's decided what features should be in the game. And we're there to make sure that everything's working the way that you want it to. And in certain cases, in certain companies, also to make sure that the game is good and fun. So, I mean, that's a baseline of what QA is, but QA is also a lot more than that. It's really also a discipline, like most people in a career will tell you, in that there's a lot of documentation that goes into how to write good bugs and how to deliver good test plans. And there's also lots of different types of QA. So a lot of people think of manual testing, which is the most basic form of QA and is the entry point into the industry. But there's also compatibility testing, there's certification testing, there's network testing.
Let's try to quickly describe. At least manual testing is when I turn on the game and I play according to some steps that somebody told me.
Yeah, so you'll either be given a feature or a test plan or something. Oftentimes too, if you're starting up, they'll give you like the tutorial, which can be a brutal thing, but your goal is to go through it, make sure that it works as intended, or at least make sure you're asking the questions that you need to, like, is it supposed to work this way? I've noticed this is a problem. And you're there to help bridge that gap and start to understand, an engineer coded this, now what happens when you actually play through it? And making sure you do that over and over again, because there's, even if you have a test team of 10 or 20, if 2 million people play your game, there's a lot of different ways that you can complete something that you need to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So that's manual testing. And the other ones that you talked about, like network and certification, those are specific branches within testing.
Yeah, exactly. So as a lot of QA testers, as they develop their careers, start to kind of specialize as well. And the clean and quick examples are compatibility, which is essentially making sure that your game's working with the hardware properly. So you're testing against GPUs, CPUs, things like that. Certification is actually meeting the hardware manufacturer's requirements for consoles. So Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo all have about 100 requirements that your game has to meet to go on the platform. And your goal is to make sure that that title meets all of those requirements, and that when you submit, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo give you a thumbs up and they're really happy. And each of them has different requirements. So it can be a really interesting, kind of almost legal job in a way, because you're working against it.
That's very good to follow. This seems to cover a lot. I would like to go back to it eventually, because I'm going to well, soon, I think it will be tomorrow, the last position to check would be community manager tomorrow, and then in the other episode after that I would be going back, since I have covered them all. I will go back at the beginning. I will place the game designer at first. I would do the game designer like we are the Thursday. Tomorrow I'll do community manager. Monday I will go back to game designers and do the GDD for the game we will do. And since no one joined, I will fill the GDD myself and show you how to have good idea and to make a good GDD. I have gathered a GDD document for years. Not for years, but I gathered many typical questions that usually you need to fill. My document is like a template, but there is way too much things to fill in my template, just to be sure to have to cover most of the thing I can. I will remove what is not needed, because you don't need to make a large GDD. You just need to communicate what is needed through the GDD for your team, for everyone to know what are the rules of the Bible of your game design. It's very important, because that way someone does not create on his side something like a height for like the such and such character, and then someone else does a different height on his side. So it avoids this kind of discrepancy. I don't know how to say discrepancy. It avoids like this conflict that will eventually arise because they have worked on their side on the same thing. So that's why we do GDD, and we use project management tools like Jira or other management tool. Jira I use it at my job and use it on my personal projects. I think there is maybe a limit of users that would be an issue, but we can either find another tool for our team if anyone joined in. So if you want to join in, go to my Discord and ask. Start talking to me on my Discord, and I will answer. If you want to have one-on-one support, you can become a Patreon. In my description below, there is 3 links: one for the tips, one for the Patreon, and one is my platform at Driven. If you want to take a look and are interested into helping with Driven. So that will be for today. See you tomorrow with the community manager. Ciao.